on Sunday the 19th of August, Wayne Pearce leads the Balmain Tigers onto his beloved Leichhardt Oval for the last time. And it is a fitting tribute to the man that thousands of people are here to say farewell to him. What an ornament to the game this man has been. As the balloons disappear into the sky, the black and gold balloons. What a competitor. Talking of competitors and champions, Peter Sterling leads the Parramatta side onto Leichhardt Oval for what will be his last encounter with his great rival, Wayne Pearce. Emotion certainly running high. We'll check the teams for you. Jack is at fullback for Balmain, McGarry, Grant, McGann, O'Brien, Brasher, Parrish. Pearce is there at lock and captain. Hardwick, Elias, Edmed, Ben Elias and Bruce Maguire. Parramatta lineup has Glenn Leichhardt at fullback, Krenkovic, Jackson, Balmain, Brett Kenny and Sterling, Laurie, Johnson, Langford, Drake, Greentree and Matt Goodwin. And the man in charge is Greg McCallum. Every possible vantage point is taken at Leichhardt for this match. The crowd starts to hush. A little huddle for the Balmain Tigers. What thoughts are going through this man's mind now? He obviously has been very emotional today, but now he's got to forget all about that and get on with what he does best, and that's play 80 minutes of hard, tough football. It's a tall order for Wayne Pearce today to be caught up in this emotion and then play the football game. So Greg McCallum blows time on and we're underway. Scott Mann gets proceedings started at Leichhardt. It's down for John Elias. Immediately giving it away to McGarry. And of course everyone congratulates the Australians on that fine victory against New Zealand today over in Wellington. Now Maguire, he'll be out for a big game today. Here's John Elias, runs straight into Sterling. Benny Elias, caught by Kenny on the fifth tackle. Now McCann, down for Krenkovic. And he's quickly upended with four Balmain defenders in a semicircle waiting for him. It's across for Sterling. And then for Langford. 32 metres away from the Parramatta line. Full of running was Peter Johnson. What thoughts will be going through Wayne Pearce's mind, Rex? You played your last game at Brookvale so many years ago. What went through your mind?
Many long years ago, 63. Feelings of deja vu, feelings of it's all over and all that sort of thing. I think the main thing is that you're finishing your football career at a time when you still really feel you can keep going, but age catches up with you, of course.
So Parramatta caught offside. And Gary Jack will look for touch from 5 metres inside his own half. Billy Anderson sideline. You must be caught up in the emotion of the day.
I sure am, Ian, but sentiment doesn't win football games, although it can help in some respects, and all the feeling here today is for the Balmain Tigers. I just hope that they can go on with the job and reward their supporters.
Now O'Brien is 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. Here's Edmed. Runs straight into Johnston. Now McCann's made the mistake. Picked up by Brett Kenny. Langford. Penalty is going to go Parramatta's way. Talking of Wayne Pearce, let's talk about Brett Kenny, Billy Anderson. It's a big day for him.
It sure is. His wife presented him with a baby boy, their third child, about 5 hours ago, Ian. I know he hasn't slept all night. I spoke to him before the match. He said he'd either have a blinder or go to sleep.
Well, on behalf of all of us here at 10, congratulations to Brett and his wife. Now, a great opportunity now for Parramatta. Greentree with the restart for Krenkovic, who runs straight into Edmed, right on the 22. Maguire in there to assist.
This Greentree's a likely lad too. He's a very, very strong player. Very, very hard in the tackle. Hard to put down. And they've got him in at the hooking role today. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in a step up in class.
Drake will play the football for Parramatta. Just inside the 22. It's with Sterling. Zia ran onto it and found Krenkovic. Krenkovic beat one. And he's pulled down by Maguire, only 8 metres short of the line. Balmain under pressure. Leichhardt dummy half for Sterling. The little kick ahead. Benny Elias back there to clean it up.
Yeah, great work there by Elias to read that play as he does, comes across the goal mouth on the State Bank replay and really gets Balmain out of trouble. That looked a good kick.
So a little bit of pressure for Balmain. Brasher will play it. Now Gary Jack. That's a very keen Parramatta defence. Mann and Sterling. The crowd cheers as Pearce brings it up and gets pushed back a couple of metres.
Yes, the Parramatta players don't feel sentimental about him, do they?
Not at all. Now McCann down towards the halfway mark, bouncing for Leichhardt. It's taken an awful long time to be able to get to it. He beat Grant. Parrish was finally there to get him. Now Bell, across field, as his legs chop, still able to keep going. Bell will play it 30 metres out from the Balmain line with Sterling. Here's Kenny in quick hands. Beautiful pass for Mann. Inside, oh, this is a great try. Laurie will score.
Quality football from Parramatta, little doubt about it. They're not overawed by the fact of the sentiment of the Parramatta club. Sterling, very, very good pass out there to Kenny. Kenny offloads it nicely to Jackson, and he's given it to Mann. Mann comes back inside. Jack gets a pass away there on the inside to Laurie, and Laurie in for a very, very good try. This is a quality bit of football. Greentree, the nice pass to Sterling, the cut-out pass from Sterling to Kenny. Jackson's out there, out to Mann. Mann gets the pass nicely back on the inside to Laurie, and Laurie goes in. The fact that he loses the ball immediately doesn't mitigate against a try. He got it down fairly and squarely. The ball left his hands the moment he had grounded it. Here it is. Watch it carefully. You'll see him get the ball down absolutely right. Bang, up she goes.
What a start for Parramatta, and Mark Laurie, 5 tries for the year for the Bricklayer.
Yeah, he's a quality player, Laurie. Many times in his career for Parramatta he's been on the threshold of representative honours, and many people think, and I'm included, that there have been occasions when he's warranted the big time.
Scott Mann has been successful with 28 goals for the year. And Balmain really, when everything has been going their way as far as sentiment is concerned, find themselves behind their own line. And this is where Wayne Pearce is at his best. Scott Mann, 10 metres in from touch. Plenty of height, and the direction is astray, however. Flagged away, can't have the extras, but Parramatta have the early lead over Balmain, 4-0. McCann with the restart for the Balmain Tigers. Straight away down to Sterling. And Mann brings it up towards the 22. Now here's Goodwin. This Parramatta side have been a semi-final chance for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I guess. They would have been disappointed with Manly beating Western Suburbs yesterday. Greentree.
They weren't the only ones. There was a lot of disappointment among the Manly supporters at the way the side battled so hard, but they did get a win, and that's what it's all about.
You don't want to give the points back.
No, I won't give the points back.
Now Gary Jack back on his own 22. Got past Goodwin. Still going. Good run from the fullback, and then crash. Run straight into Drake. O'Brien. Nowhere to go. Very bunched, Balmain. Pearce. Gee whiz, the hits on Pearce are quite incredible.
Yes, they're showing their appreciation of him as a good footballer, really belting him every time he touches the football. Little tiny knock on there.
So this scrum will go down 5 or 6 metres from the halfway mark. Bill, this has been a disappointing start by the Tigers.
In a lot of areas, they're kicking games off and they're making far too many handling mistakes. Ian, you know, pressure's a funny thing. It can be both good and bad, and I've just got the feeling that Parramatta are playing a pretty carefree style of football. I think they would accept the fact they can't make the semi-finals, but Balmain have got the weight of the world on their shoulders and they're playing like it.
Now Langford playing it. This has come out for Goodwin, and Goodwin very nearly got through. Sterling's gone into dummy half for Laurie, and then back for Johnston. Laurie's been able to dive on it and get it away for Goodwin.
The crowd booed, but he wasn't held in the tackle.
And now the possession has gone Balmain's way. 32 metres out from the Tigers line. Benny Elias, before he gets the chance to kick, Parramatta called offside.
Yes, let's have a look at the lower grade scores in the earlier matches. Under 21s, Balmain 22, Parramatta 18. That was a great comeback by the Parramatta side. They were down about 20-0 at one stage. And the reserve grade, Parramatta 16, Balmain 4.
So Elias with the restart just outside the Parramatta quarter. Parrish has got it on for Maguire. And losing the football. Mistakes continuing to go Balmain's way. Kenny was able to pick it up. And suddenly Parramatta are about 35 out from their own line after looking to be in a pressure situation. Sterling for Goodwin. Drinkovic. Sterling again. Almost got through. Just about on the halfway mark. Yes, he's lost it in there. Edmed's able to come up with it. Terrible passing. John Elias. Now here's Pearce. Taking it inside the Parramatta half. Parrish. Maguire. Back for Parrish. Trying to skirt his way past the defence. Got a pass back inside the Brasher, but it's forward.
Yes, the referee fairly well placed there. He was a little bit in front of the play. But this pass here on the State Bank replay, judged to be forward. Parrish swung round in the tackle, got the ball back on the inside.
Sterling with the scrum feed. With the feed. Kenny. Lydiard. McCann was up very quickly to get him. Now here's Kenny. Jackson. The pass has gone forward from Jackson.
Yeah, it's just a touch too hard there. The opportunity was on, but Kenny just delivered the pass just a fraction too hard to Jackson. The ball ricochets up in the air, taken by Mann, and that's an unforced error.
So Parrish gets the scrum feed. He's certainly a man for all seasons.
Well, surely he's one of the biggest halfbacks going around in the Winfield Cup at the moment, isn't he? He started out as a centre, went to hooker, became a second rower, and now he's back at halfback.
McCann. 35 out from the Parramatta line. Benny Elias shouted a couple of times. Here's Parrish again for Pearce. Parrish and then for Brasher. Gary Jack into the back line and crunch. Down he goes. Peter Johnson. 5 tackles gone for the Tigers. Elias will put it in the air. And it's gone straight up in the air. Elias was there first. It actually kicked it soccer style back to Gary Jack, who's kicked it over. Are we playing soccer here?
I don't know, that looked curiously like it. I thought Benny Elias did a good job at trapping the football there from the bomb, but the way he kicked it back to Jack gave Jack no opportunity.
It's 4-0 to Parramatta. We're right on the halfway mark, and here comes Drake.
This is a bloke I'm sure could be a much better footballer if he could get speed off the mark. He's just too sluggish to get moving. He's a big strapping lad. I wish the Parramatta club had put him into spikes and get him training.
Krinkovic with the football. Still going across field. He got past about 3 defenders, straightening now and gets to the halfway mark.
The Balmain players dropping off tackles at the moment.
And the penalty's going to go to Parramatta. Balmain up inside the 5 metres. So Mann has come up and he'll take a shot for goal. A huge crowd here at Leichhardt Oval. Just from very early this morning they were lined up.
It's great to see the crowd turn up in such numbers. Obviously, this is the area that Wayne Pearce is considered to be an adornment to the game. They realise his last game on the ground, and they really have come out of the woodwork here. This is an incredible crowd.
Local hero, the name of the book, and the description is fitting.
Well, as our former Premier of New South Wales said, I think that's the wrong title. It should be National Hero.
Yeah, few will argue with that. So Scott Maher missed with his first shot. This is about 38 metres out. He's really got under that. Plenty of height, but the direction is well astray. So there's no change to that score. Still 4-0 to Parramatta as the Tigers try to bring it away from this danger area. Brasher is thrown to the ground. Now here's Pearce. Grant. This is a very committed Parramatta defence.
Yes, they're not playing like a side that have got no hope in the semi-finals, are they? They're playing very, very strongly at this stage. Early days, of course, but they're playing like a team that really wants to cause an upset.
And of course, Parramatta will take on Manly next Friday night.
Yes, well, I hope they're a little less committed next week.
It's a good run from Leichhardt. Mann will play it just inside the Balmain half. Goodwin. Hardwick and Parrish in there with the defence. Goodwin resented something in the tackle. Kenny, a pass along the ground. Krinkovic is having trouble. Kenny is, well, that was just a comedy of errors. It's been picked up by James Grant. Being chased by Kenny, and Kenny's got him. Grant's lost the football as well. There was a foot over the touchline. Everything happened.
Oh, astonishing stuff here. This is just one of those things that happens out of the blue. We're just seeing the tail end of it. But this is Grant in strong pursuit is Kenny, and Kenny gets him over the sideline. His legs, the ball stayed in the field of play. But while he was in contact with the football, the ball was over the sideline.
Extraordinary passage of play. The penalty has gone Parramatta's way. Leichhardt will look for touch from just inside his own quarter.
Well, there are those that say, and I have been one of them, that Kenny's lost his pace. He didn't show it on that occasion. He gave Grant about 3 or 4 metres start and caught him.
Yeah, picked him up very smartly. Greentree with the restart for Krinkovic. Oh, Maguire. Oh, Bruce Maguire's come up with the football as well. Oh, that was a magnificent tackle. John Elias. Penalties have gone Parramatta's way 3-2. The crowd's starting to get behind the Balmain side now.
Getting a bit of a roll on now.
Elias for Edbed, who's put it down. Mark Laurie has picked it up for Parramatta. And These handling mistakes are really becoming costly for Balmain, Bill.
Certainly are. I think at times that it's just a little bit of untidiness out of the dummy half in the first pass area, and the forwards haven't quite got their rhythm.
Well, they're going to get the penalty.
Yes, well, he didn't actually play the football. He just put it between his legs, according to Mr. McCallum. We'll see it again on the State Bank replay. Quite right. The ball just went careering through his legs, wasn't touched by the foot. And that's a pretty horrendous error from a former international.
Well, he's presented McCann with a shot for goal. And McCallum was calling over Brasher. Something that must have happened in back play. So Brasher gets his little lecture. McCann, who's kicked 15 goals for the season, an opportunity to put the Balmain Tigers on the scoreboard. It was wide the moment it left his boot. So the Tigers can't get on. It's 4-0 to Parramatta. Leichhardt with the restart for Parramatta. Down for Gary Jack. Got away from Kenny. Jackson's got him. Now here's McCann. Runs straight into Goodwin and Langford. Edmed beat the first tackle and takes play inside the Parramatta half. Pearce. Johnson with the tackle on Pearce. Parrish. 5 tackles used up by Balmain. Elias. Following the kick through. Bouncing for Brasher. Penalty has gone to Parramatta. That's against a Balmain play. May have been Brasher.
Yes, the State Bank replay. Now watch this as they come to the ball. The ball's bouncing. Elias pushes, I believe. Yeah, Brasher's the man. Evidently the referee has seen. Brasher's the man that pushed the Parramatta player.
So we're back to just about the halfway mark for the restart. Green Tree. John Elias making the tackle on him. Now it's back for Johnson.
Johnson's playing very committed fashion. He's very strong. Gets himself through the tackle and getting to the advantage line. That's good stuff.
Matt Goodwin. 10 metres inside the Balmain half. With Sterling. Now for Leichhardt. Beautiful tackle. Gee whiz, that was Damien McGarry coming in with a great tackle on Jason Bell. And there's another fine hit. And that's the man of the moment, Wayne Pearce with that one. Sterling, wrong foot of Elias. Got the kick in, and it's foul touch. Marvellous kick from the little fella.
Yes, rubbing salt into the wounds. Benny Elias was the one that he beat on that occasion. No disaster for Elias. He's wrong-footed by a champion like Sterling, but that kick that he put in was absolutely beautiful. Takes play to within about 8 metres of the Balmain line.
Parrish with the feed. Here's Gary Jack. Caught by Leichhardt. Scrums are dead set even at 2. It's an awful play, the ball. 6 tackle count restarts for Balmain. Touched by Parramatta. Maguire takes it over the 22. John Elias. Here's Hardwick. Well, nothing fancy from Balmain, Bill.
They're not trying to entertain, are they? They just turned it into a hard slog and hoping to wear Parramatta down. If they can't totally dominate the Eels in the forwards, they won't win.
Junior almost into the clear. 5 tackles gone for Balmain. Benny Elias Puts this over Krenkovic's head. It's bouncing over towards Leichhardt. Krenkovic has it now. Straight across field, got away from Brasher. Finally upended by O'Brien. About 12 metres out. Mann from dummy half takes it over the 22. Here's Goodwin. Quickly caught though and upended by Benny Elias. Greentree runs from dummy half. Caught by Maguire. Now it's with Sterling. A little dummy. Last tackle for Parramatta. A front rower kicking.
Well. Well, there he is, Matt Goodwin. The State Bank replay will show it. Even the front rowers can get in the act today with the good line kicks, and that's an excellent kick. Jack wasn't going to go near it. He didn't want to be responsible for an error, knocking it over the sideline and giving the Parramatta side the feed.
McCallum having some problems with this scrum. Parrish with the feed. It's with Brasher. Now it's with Grant. Caught by Kenny. Gary Jack from dummy half. Here's O'Brien. Got away from one. Got away from Johnston. Finally caught by Jackson. Crowd trying to entice Mr. McCallum to catch Parramatta offside as Elias gets it away to John Elias. Come away for O'Brien. O'Brien down the flank. Turns it back in for Pearce. And then for Gary Jack, who puts it down.
Well, continuing the flood of errors that have come, this was excellent play by the Balmain side. Pearce gets it there. Back into Jack. The pass came to him hard. Seemed to hit him on the chest and ricochet out of his hands. Balmain must guard possession a little bit more. They're being a little bit slap hazard with it.
Sterling with the scrum feed for Kenny. He's caught by Brasher. Mann. Right on the 22. Here's Greentree. Still 4-0 to Parramatta over Balmain. Leichhardt, a little chip and chase. A couple of Parramatta players there picked up. Leichhardt, this juggle it. This will be a try. They won't catch him. Oh, that's magnificent stuff.
Absolutely beautiful football there. And we talk about Leichhardt. There are a pair of brothers going around in the competition at the moment who both of them very fleet of foot. Now, this is beautiful stuff. Leichhardt, the little chip kick over the top. Barnes onside. The bounce is good. Falls short of Jack. Mann gets the ball quickly, immediately back into Leichhardt as soon as he took the ball from the bounce, and Leichhardt sprints away and scores a try without a hand being laid on him. Absolutely beautiful. From low level, watch it again. Leichhardt, little toe poke. Notice the way his boot was pointing up in the air so that the ball would go high. Leichhardt got that pass from Mann, had to juggle it. He's a responsible, good professional. He's able to do that. And he scores a very, very good try. You won't see a smarter try than that for a long while. Very good stuff.
8 tries for the year for young Glenn Leichhardt. Only 20 years of age. And a big future for him. Nick Cronin, the coach, will be, he doesn't look too happy, but I'm sure he'll be smiling inwardly at the way his side has started. Mann yet to put any points on the board with his kicking. Certainly he was involved in that try right up to his bootlaces, and now he adds the extras. So this is a pretty healthy scoreline from a Parramatta point of view. 10-0 Parramatta over Balmain. McCann with the restart for this Balmain outfit that really has a lot of work to do. And probably, Bill, the man they miss the most is the fellow we saw earlier in the day playing halfback for New Zealand.
I don't know if they miss him the most because they miss all of their test players, Bear, but they're certainly missing him. His organisation around the rucks in attack, and he'd have been back playing as a sweeper then for that chip over the top. He'd have tidied that back up, but Matt Parrish, of course, playing in the line.
And Parramatta growing in confidence. Drake is held by Edmed, 10 metres from the halfway mark. It's come back for Leichhardt, who wrong-footed Elias and sends it straight down to Gary Jack. Now Jack gets a pass away nicely for O'Brien, but Laurie measures him up. Now here's McCann. Edmed. Balmain really need to get some points on the board. Pearce. But he's going to need a huge effort from the man of the moment, Wayne Pearce, to inspire his side to greater things. Jack, on the run around, well, he dummied to Brasher on a run around, ended up hanging onto the football. Laurie makes the tackle. Here's Benny Elias. A little chip ahead, trying to regain it, but Greentree was first man there.
Yeah, Greentree's impressing me a hell of a lot. He's a very, not an overwrought at all. The step up in class doesn't appear to have worried him. He's doing little dashes from dummy half, and he's covering the ball. That's the second occasion he's defused a little kick through.
Here's Drake.
Can't you see this big fellow with his ball ability, with about another 2 or 3 yards of pace on him?
Yes, he's got everything else, hasn't he?
He's got the lot.
Sterling and Kenny, and then Bell. Nice step from him off the right foot. 5 tackles used up by Parramatta. Sterling, this has come down for Jack, who brings it back to the 22 before he's upended. Now O'Brien. Maguire. The penalty must go to Balmain. Goodwin was involved in it.
Yeah, Goodwin impeded Elias there, and mandatory penalty. You can see him sitting on the ground. Well, yes, he was in the way, sitting on the ground there in the dummy half spot, and it's just not on. It's a mandatory penalty that referees must penalise.
So they find touch right on halfway. Penalties are still even now at 4. Here's Maguire. Benny Elias from dummy half. Dummy to John Elias, who had an altercation with Greentree. Edmed from a little way back, almost to the 22. It's across for Parrish and then Brasher. Caught by Johnson. Also Langford. Parrish again. The little kick ahead, but Leichhardt was there. And Leichhardt will play at about 12 or 13 out from his own line. Krenkovic reaches the 22 before Hardwick and Benny Elias put him down. Greentree. Drake again. Sterling. Bell. McCann was very quickly up to him. On the last, Mann sends it downfield to Jack on his 22. Jack brings it back before he was caught by Sterling. O'Brien will play it. Now here's Pearce. Nothing much in this handling area department. Balmain have made 6, Parramatta just 1 less. Maguire. It's with Parrish. Now John Elias. Last tackle. Then Eli shaped a kick and then found McCann with a pass. Grant trying to get a pass back, but over the touchline it goes. Well, it must be said, Bill, that Parramatta are handling Balmain pretty easily.
What the Tigers needed to do was to dominate totally in the forwards, and they haven't been able to do that so far in this match. And of course, we all knew that the Parramatta Black backs were going to be a little bit slick if their forwards could cut square, and that's what's happened.
Johnson will play it. Greentree's dummy half running from there. Takes it well inside Balmain's half.
Running very effectively from dummy half, one must add. I'm very impressed with this fella. If I say it again, it'll be accused of being patrimony, but it's not.
Kenny looking for Laurie, but Laurie couldn't handle it.
Yeah, the State Bank replay just shows a player slightly unready or not ready for the ball coming to him. Laurie was the man on that occasion.
So this scrum is just 5 metres in the Balmain half. Work by Parrish. This is Brasher. And then McCann straight ahead. Jack was following him through. Jack's over the halfway mark. Caught by Kregovich, who read the play smartly. McCann from dummy half. Oh, he's making easy ground. Now Balmain on a bit of a roll. It's with Parrish. It's with Hardwick. Just outside the 22. Gary Jack is down in back play receiving attention. John Elias puts it down. Gary Jack is in trouble. The trainer frantically working on the knee area. They were banned short. Jackson will play it just outside the 22. There's no one deep there for Balmain. Pearce has realised it and dropped back. Now he's sending McGarry back. Jack is up and hobbling quite noticeably as Drake brings it straight up. And managed to get the pass away for Kenny. Now it's with Goodwin. Jackson is dummy half. Not a great pass. Langford has it away for Sterling and then for Laurie. Laurie straight through the gap. Looks for support. Looking for his winger. Over it comes for Kregovich. Kregovich slipping as he looked for a support player back inside.
Yeah, great pity he slipped there. There's an opportunity back on the inside.
Bell with a little kick ahead on the last tackle. It's been cleaned up though by John Elias. Gary Jack, who is not quite back to his normal run. He's still limping badly. This has been raked back and picked up by Parrish, but Balmain will get the penalty.
Elias finds touch with the kick, and it's not a bad one. Taking play to within about 7 metres of the halfway line. At about 4 minutes 17 seconds. Balmain need desperately to get on the board, but they're not playing with any great authority at the moment. There's 10-0 the score. That's not a scoreline that will please this large crowd. Maguire plays it. Brasher under Pearce. Pearce goes straight and hard. He only knows the one way. Straight up and down. Brasher out to Parrish. The run around to Brasher. The pass, the tackle from Johnson, which was unsuccessful, but put him off balance. Parrish, Edmed, little dummy on the outside. That's a fairly high tackle there from Greentree. Last tackle. Elias. Kick through. Be cleaned up by Lydiard very well. Whether he can make ground's another matter. Well, he does make ground. He's running out of a boot. He's left the boot about 7 metres behind him. Sterling, Kregovich coming from his wing right across field. And Jackson on the outside, couldn't get the pass away. They're 10 metres now from the Parramatta line. Marn. Parramatta wings, both of them come in field and alternate situations and take the load off their forwards. Greentree. There's the big fellow Langford coming on the charge. He's been wearing that strapping around his left thigh for some months. The kick downfield by Sterling takes play up to the Balmain quarter. very good kick. See it again on the State Bank replay. Very nice, low trajectory. The second bounce over the sideline. Now you can see Sterling saying a few words to his team. What he's saying at the moment is, don't let them score in this period of time up to half time. About 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Balmain scrum win. Brasher tackled on the quarter line. O'Brien comes to dummy half, runs, only makes about 5 metres. Now Elias is there on a Pearce. Pearce toughing it out, getting the hard yards. Elias, the crowd getting a little bit restive, I must say, because they come down here with all the emotion of the Pearce retirement at the end of this season. Last appearance on the ground, as we've already seen. There's Elias with a kick through. Well, it's cleaned up there. Well, yes indeed, cleaned up beautifully. It's Bell on the sprint there, coming away, and he gets down towards the Balmain quarter line there. Only Grant's tackle was the one that saved the day. Putting him through the gap there was Sterling. Johnson came hard on the burst. Takes play to within about 13 metres of the line. Balmain under pressure now in the dying moments of this first half. Goodwin on the charge. Gee whiz, he nearly made it. He's only 1.5 metres short. That was a great charge from him. Sterling, the dummy, can't get there. Still a foot short. Gets up, plays it. Greentree, Lydiard. Running crossfield, crabwise. The last tackle coming up now, so Balmain will have to watch the little grubber type kick through. There it is. Oh, well taken. No, it's not taken. 6 to go, says the referee. I think it was Pearce there. Krankovic coming from the left wing. He's now appeared on the right wing. McMahon is at dummy half. On to Drake. Drake goes across field, still steaming slowly forward. He's had that little bit of pace that I've been talking about. He might crack the defence occasionally like that. Sterling, quick hands, beautifully to Kenny. A long cut-out pass. Oh, just out of reach of Bell. And there's an opportunity. He's gone begging. There it is on the State Bank replay. Now look at the long pass from Kenny. He just manages to touch it. There's the half-time hooter. So at half-time, we've had a very impressive performance by the Parramatta side in the first 40 minutes, and they lead Balmain by 10 points to 0. But football games are played over 80 minutes. We'll be back very, very shortly to see how it goes.
The entertainment continues here at Leichhardt Oval, and today the Balmain Tigers two girls with a special musical tribute to Wayne Pearce. Would you please welcome the girls with a great chorus line 1.
Any chance of moving that around here, Tommy?
This thing every time.
I don't know. Maybe on you gotta get that one. top hat and tails time at Leichhardt Oval as the girls go through their paces at half-time here. All we need is the champagne, but I should say to you that it's certainly not champagne time for the Balmain fans. Down 10-0 against a very committed and determined Parramatta side and a very flat Balmain outfit.
They are. They're playing as if they knew this was always going to be a tough game, a game they had to win, and they've gone into their shell a little bit. That hasn't been the case with Parramatta. They haven't got a care in the world, and they've chopped them up out wide. Now have a look at this. Pass from Sterling onto Leichhardt. He recognised that there was no one back in cover. The little chip over the top. There it was fielded. Pass back in the middle. Leichhardt juggled it. Looked for a moment as if he was going to lose it. It was a touch-and-go pass. A line ball one, but Greg McCallum in good position, and Leichhardt goes in to score the 4 points. The only try of that first half.
He's improving every game, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a good player. I think he could be at home in any position in the back line, Bear, but he's found a real spot at fullback, hasn't he?
Certainly has, and certainly Balmain fans who came here to celebrate and to congratulate Wayne Pearce on his last game at Leichhardt are very quiet at the moment. Okay, well, this week at this time we always show you some highlights from the 1980s, and today's no exception. We go back to 1987. In 1987, the Australian side, under the captaincy of Wally Lewis, played their first Test match since the triumphant '86 Kangaroo Tour. They played the Kiwis at Lang Park and went into the game as firm favourites. Coach Don Ferner watched as his Chargers relived their glories of only a year before.
Comes out to Lewis, who reverses it back into the other side of the Australian lineup, and there's a good run from Australia as they handball it round now. Look at Lewis looking around for support. Here's Sterling. Sterling for Australia, and he's in!
But New Zealand struck back, scoring 2 tries, including this length of the field beauty. Bell's to the corner line, to the halfway mark, I should say, looking for support. Coming on the pace now, Bell. The pass is back from Mercer. Mercer stepping. Mercer's going to score. The Kiwis are in again. They will go with despite a last-ditch effort from Shearer, the Aussies were denied. A little flick pass. Miles puts a long ball out there for Shearer. Shearer steps. Shearer for the line. Shearer is caught. His neck. What's he ruling? Well, he's ruled a double movement. The Kiwis had wrapped up the one-off Test match, a fact not lost on the men from the Shaky Isles, as Captain Hugh McGann led the celebrations Maori style. Yes, and how sweet it was to see Australia demolish the Kiwis just a little earlier today. Okay, let's give you some updates of scores from other games that are being played around Sydney. Saints and Souths, well, Saints are 28 and South Sydney 6. The Gold Coast and Canberra doing battle, and Canberra in front by 16-6 at this stage. Penrith doing it tough against Norths, 4-0 to the Panthers, 10-2 Canterbury over Eastern Suburbs, while Illawarra against Cronulla are leading 10-0 as they get towards the half-time break. Now, we're only 5 weeks away from Grand Final. Yeah, I know, 5 weeks away. And it's going to be tough to get in there. If you have your ticket, congratulations. If you don't and you're interstate, well, here is an opportunity for you to be at the Grand Final.
Courtesy of Ansett and Hilton International, you and your partner could be sidelined at the Sydney Football Stadium on September 23 for the big one, the 1990 Grand Final. Ansett flies Australia's most modern jet fleet and offers an airline service that has been ranked the best domestic service in the world. Come fly with Ansett and then experience Hilton's superb luxury and hospitality in Sydney for 2 days and nights, where you will enjoy dining at its very best. The Hilton, the hotel. All you have to do to be part of the colour and excitement of Grand Final Day is correctly give the score of last year's Grand Final. Put it on the back of an envelope with your name and address and send it to Ansett Hilton International Grand Final Getaway, PO Box 10, GPO Sydney 2001. The competition will close with final mail received Friday, September 14.
Yeah, you better be quick and get your entry in. It's a great competition and a great opportunity for you. Well, it's 10-0 here. Parramatta over Balmain, and we're going to take a break and come back for all the action of the second half, coming to you from Leichhardt Oval.
With the current state of play, Parramatta 10, leading Balmain.
Scores from the ground, courtesy of the ABC. St George leading South Sydney 28-6, Canberra 16, Gold Coast 6, Penrith 4, North Sydney 0, Canterbury 16, East 6, and Illawarra 10, Cronulla 0. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of this game there will be presentations made. You are not to come over the bench because Wayne Pearce has to conclusion of this game.
The Balmain officials have asked at the conclusion of today's match you please stay off the field. There will be a presentation to be made to Wayne Pearce and of course the testimonial lap of honour. So we ask you to please stay behind but stay off the field at the end of today's match. Just standing by now for the teams for the second half in today's match. Balmain and Parramatta, of course, this is the last home game at Leichhardt Oval for 1990.
Okay. Welcome back as we watch the crowd enjoying the sunshine of Sydney on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Shirt sleeves time, although when that sun does disappear later in the day, they'll be looking to wrap up a little bit. And it's rather subdued. We'll certainly miss Junior here at Leichhardt, but they were hoping that Junior and the Balmain side could have done better things in that first half. Certainly been a very flat performance from the Balmain side, and it will take quite an effort from Wayne Pearce to inspire his teammates. And here comes Junior now, getting some inspiration of his own from Laurie Nichols. Certainly need a form reversal in this second half. Flags are still flying, so the fans are still hanging in there for their beloved Balmain side. But it has been a very disappointing performance. They've missed, as Bill Anderson pointed out, they've missed Gary Freeman, as well as their other test stars, of course. But Freeman's a great competitor.
Not to say anything about Michael Neal, who I think is one of the biggest losses to the Balmain side. And I said a week ago when I heard he'd broken his leg, Balmain are going to do it very tough for the balance of the season.
Well, I think that's a fair comment. Sterling leads back the Parramatta side. A side that is certainly playing as if they're in a much higher position on the table than they are. Not to be excused for thinking that at this time of the year, when they can't make the semis, that they might slacken off a little. Leichhardt Oval, and we're set for the second half with Parramatta in front of Balmain by 10 points to 0. And it is going to require a big effort from the Tigers. Billy, you've been down to the dressing rooms. I see a change there.
Yeah, there is. Number 40, Gary McFarlane, to fill the breach for Steve Edmund, who's got a cork. He's going into a pack of forwards that's not working.
Well, Greg McCallum signals time on for the second half. Balmain fans hoping for better things. Check the first half tackle count. Balmain made 105 tackles. Maguire showed the way there, while Parramatta had 98 and Laurie was the best of them. Parramatta surrendering possession early on. This is a golden opportunity for Balmain to strike back early. That pass looked suspiciously forward to McFarlane. Got away with it. About 18 metres away from the Parramatta line. Hardwick runs into a brick wall. Warren Ryan no doubt has stirred this Balmain side into some better things in the second half. Pearce has caught 15 out for Maguire. Bang, down he goes.
See, Elias had no runners there. He had to look. He had to dummy one way and go the other. There's a penalty that'll get them something, hopefully.
Yeah, Johnson lying down. Elias knew it. He just let the ball hit him. So at least an early opportunity for Balmain. Well, they're not going to go for the goal.
That's the wrong decision in my view. You take points when they're on offer. That's been a rule in rugby league for as long as I can remember, and there's nothing I've ever seen in any ensuing season to make it different.
They very nearly spilled it on the first tackle. Brasher has crashed to the ground. An interesting call. Here's Pearce. 15 metres out. McFarlane can't find a way through, but he's only 8 metres short. Benny Elias for Maguire. The run around with Elias. Elias flicked it back inside for Brasher. Brasher scores. Brasher is in for the Tigers, which I suppose makes the decision to not take the shot for goal a little more palatable to the Tigers fans.
Well, it may make it more palatable. It doesn't make it right, but we'll see the way it worked. It was Maguire back to Elias and then a flick pass back inside to Brasher. Now Brasher's got the pace and he's close enough to be able to take the Lydiard tackle and go over. Elias, Maguire, the run around, the flick pass back on the inside. There it was, smartly done, clever. Needed a little bit of subtlety by the Balmain players, and that's the try. Now see it again from ground level. Away she goes, out to the right goes Elias, and then he flicks the ball back inside behind him. And Brasher's strong enough and quick enough and had only a short distance to travel. He's able to get there. Now that should inspire them to carry on with this, because they needed a little bit of subtlety. They needed a little bit of something cleverer than's been going on. It's been pretty pedestrian stuff from Balmain.
So McCann, who missed with his only shot at goal, has an opportunity from 11 metres in from touch. It's wide. Can't have the extras. So Parramatta hang on to this lead, but it's now 10-4. With the restart for Parramatta after a great start by the Tigers for this second half. It's down for Gary Jack. Mann takes him. Laurie was in there to assist. John Elias. Now the Balmain fans start to come alive after that try. Elias along the ground and knocked on.
Yes, the referee saw it. I thought he might have been behind a player there and missed it, but there was quite clearly a little tiny knock on there. A dummy at the ball receiver there, McGarry, was not able to pick it up cleanly.
So Sterling with the scrum feed. A great opportunity here for Parramatta. It's across for Kenny and Bell. Back for Kenny. Dummied to Jackson inside. In fact, he didn't dummy. He gave it to Jackson. Jackson back for Bell. Sterling in a dummy half. Crowd calling for a knock on there. Referee said play on. It's out for Jackson. Brasher's onto him and throws him to the ground. Just about on the 22. Here's Goodwin. And driven back. Now it's with Sterling. Then Drake. Back for Sterling. eventually grabbing it. Kenny's got it. And Kenny back slammed by McCann. A quick play the ball, however. That's the good stuff from Kenny. Taking the heavy hit and still getting up quickly to play it. Now Leichhardt on the last. Floats it out for Kenny. The little kick ahead. Mann is chasing it, but it's bounced up nicely for O'Brien, who got away from Mann. But wrapped up by Kenny in the end. Now Jack. 10 metres out from the Balmain line. John Elias. Straight into Greentree. Held by Johnson. Maguire.
Well, I wouldn't fool around any longer if I were Balmain. I'd get the hell out of this area, out of their own quarter, and get the ball well downfield. Now.
Elias tries to do just that. Bounced well low for Leichhardt. And Elias was first to him. He didn't get him, but he did enough to stop him. Greentree. It's a much more determined outfit, this Balmain side in the second half. Langford. Now for Sterling. Then Johnson. Here's Drake. Well, down the other end of the football field, Balmain have had 41 tackles and Parramatta 35, so not a great deal in that. Sterling looking for touch. Jack is back in his own in goal. It will go over the touch-in goal line.
Yeah, well, Sterling doesn't quite know the in-goal area as well as he does at Parramatta Stadium. He had it on a string the last time we televised them up there. The ball continually stayed in the in-goal area.
You saw Langford getting some attention from the Parramatta trainer. Now Maguire. Benny Elias. Got away from Sterling. Tried to get away from Greentree. Did so. Gets to the halfway mark with a fine run. Now Parrish. Dummied to Pearce. Gave it to Brasher instead. Back for Parrish. Now Benny Elias. Maguire. Dummied inside to Jack. Took the tackle though. John Elias. They've used up 5, Balmain. Elias. Mann picks it up on the first hop. Threads his way through the defence before he's finally stopped 15 metres from the halfway mark. Now Drake. Here's Goodwin. Just about on the halfway mark. Langford. Handling her as a dead set even, 9 apiece. Leichhardt standing on the blind side, got it away from Jackson, who very nearly slipped through. On the last, bouncing McCann is there. McCann losing it. Right on his own line.
Oh, that's a cardinal sin. McCann took the ball all right from the kick through, although I thought he was a little bit lackadaisical with it, then got up and knocked it on his knee, and the ball went forward, so it's a Parramatta feed, only 5 metres out. This is a very critical moment for Balmain.
Oh, what pressure for the Tigers. Sterling with a scrum feed. Look for Bell. Bell's lost it behind him though, fallen on by Sterling, knocked back, said McCallum. That's a good call. Out for Kenny. Kenny, ankle tapped, 5 metres short of the line. Jackson from dummy half, about a metre short. Johnson from dummy half, so close to the line. Greentree's in there now. Will he go on his own? No. Away it comes for Kenny. Now it's for Sterling. Sterling found Laurie. Inside for Bell. Bell to Mann. Mann's in the corner.
Beautiful stuff by Parramatta. They really flicked the ball along the line there. That was clever stuff. See it again on the State Bank replay. It's a very good-looking bit of football. The pass went to Kenny. Kenny had to give it away to Sterling quickly and pointing backwards. There was the pass back on the inside to Bell. Bell goes well and then offloaded back to McMahon, the wing three-quarter, standing out wide. All right, we'll see it again. Kenny had to, as he wouldn't want to do, had to turn his back to give the pass because the ball came from behind him. There was Bell, and away it went out to Marn, and Marn in to score. Well, I'm not going to say a finishing try because it's too early in the day, but that's 14-4 with a kick at goal to come. It certainly makes Balmain's job very, very difficult.
The Rookie of the Year in '88, Scott Marn, still only 20, he scored 6 tries this year. And plenty of talking going on behind the Balmain line. Pearce has already had his say, Gary Jack backing him up. Only 1 from 3 today for Scotty Marn. About 1.5 meters in from touch. That's a horror. It's an awful kick. Nowhere near the post, but it's still a handy lead. 14-4, Parramatta over Balmain. The restart from the Tigers. Marn really had to stretch to pull that ball in and gets driven back with some solid defence. It's 10 metres away from the Parramatta line. Goodman plays it. This is Laurie. Greentree. Well, Bill Anderson, was that Balmain revival short-lived?
Well, they were doing things pretty well, I thought. They were playing the ball a lot quicker than they were in the first half. They were hitting the advantage line and getting to their feet. But the big problem they're having, Ian, is their defensive line. They are missing tackles at marker. The marker defence has fallen away totally, and they are not regrouping quickly enough in defence. And Parramatta, they're just chopping them to pieces out wide.
The disturbing thing from a Balmain point of view is if they were to lose this game today, they would drop back equal with Manly, and they have to face Newcastle next week at Newcastle, who are just 2 points behind them.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to have to take on Newcastle up at the Newcastle International Sports Centre, particularly when they need 2 points themselves as well.
So the scene is set for a real thrilling finish to the season. That's not writing Balmain off from this game, of course. Still a long way to go.
Well, that's the second ineffective kick that Benny Elias has put in the last 2 or 3 minutes. He kicked for the line there. The ball went gently off his foot and didn't go anywhere. The opposition got it back straight away. They need to do those sort of things a lot better. When he kicks for the line, it's got to find the line.
Here's Johnson going through some pretty flimsy defence to get to halfway. Player hasn't moved. Hardwick has not moved after trying to make that tackle. Jackson quickly hit. He's flat out. He's in Disneyland. Goodwin. They've immediately called for the doctor out back there for Hardwick. And if they're really concerned, they'll let McCallum know, who will probably help play. They've turned Hardwick on his side. That kick is back in the in goal and will roll dead. Now McCallum will call a halt and come back and see the problem with Hardwick, calling for a stretcher and showing a little concern.
Yes, well, I didn't see anything in the preceding play, but no doubt we'll be able to have a look at it on the replay here. Now, here he is, Hardwick, coming in, and it's a head clash. Yeah, the Johnson's head came in contact with Hardwick. Hardwick's down, and as you said, completely out to it. He's not really moved, and there he goes down. Johnson's head was the damaging agent, obviously not deliberate, just an accidental head clash, which will be absolutely no shall we say, what shall we say, not a thing that Hardwick would know anything about at the moment.
Well, now, as you can see, there's quite a few concerned officials out there. This stunned crowd, stunned not only because of the injury to Hardwick, but the performance of their beloved Tigers, who are still trailing by 10 points, and we have some movement on the bench. David Brooks, who captained the reserve grade side here, coming down to warm up.
Well, David Brooks is a very confident player. He's a very, very fit man, extremely fit. As you can see by the figure he cuts as he runs back on the field, he's got plenty of muscle definition. He's a very tough player, and also gives them a bit of goal kicking. Now, whether he's been kicking for a reserve grade, I don't know. But the quality of the goal kicking's been pretty ordinary today. I think they've only kicked one goal from about 5 attempts on both sides. And the cry will be going up, of course, to big back Cronin and big back Barnes.
Well, Kevin Hardwick, they turned him on his side. As soon as the doctor got out there, he rolled him over on his side, and he hasn't moved from that position.
Well, that's to the tongue, in the effect, in the instance that they might swallow their tongues. They've checked his mouth, they've confirmed the fact that his tongue's not been swallowed, but they don't want it to go back into his head. So on the side and head down slightly.
Bill, what's the story down there?
Well, it's not a good situation, is it? But it's not as bad as it might look. Hardwick is actually talking. He didn't want to come off the field because this may well be his last game at Leichhardt too, and he wanted to see it out, and this is possibly his last match, but he's had to come from the field. He's very severely cussed, and David Brooks in 23 has gone on.
Okay, well, that's a relief to hear that at least he's talking. Now, here's Elias trying to get the pass away to Brasher. Parrish, McFarlane, the pass going astray. Bell's been able to pick it up for Parramatta. Now Langford. 14-4. Parramatta 10-point break. That was touched in the play the ball by Elias, so the tackle count restarts. Here's Goodwin. Now it's with Sterling. Cross for Kenny, then for Bell. Disputed possession. Balmain claiming they have it. Referee McCallum ruling they don't. Sterling sends Jack back to his in goal. Parramatta chasers are there. Kenny and Sterling combining to bring him down. Now it's with O'Brien. And Balmain try to find a way through this Parramatta defence. Here's Brooks. Parrish, Maguire. John Elias was a dummy half and wasn't looking. The ball went through his legs. And Parramatta have come up with possession once again.
Yeah, well, they're just throwing the game away at the moment, the Balmain side. There are players just not looking committed when they go into a tackle with the possession. They're just letting the ball be stripped off them. It's happened 2 or 3 times.
Sterling. Out for Langford. Sterling again. Not a great pass. It went past Mark Laurie before Krenkovic was able to fall on it. Kick ahead from Bell, taken though by McGarry. Now it's out for Brasher. Elias. McFarlane is just 30 metres away from their own line. Benny Elias from dummy half. 10 metres from halfway now. Parrish looking for someone to pass to, and they were a mile away, but he's still able to make some inroads himself. Now it's come back for Brasher. That's better stuff, although it started from a horrible piece of play. Parrish Parrish again. Brooks gets it away. Oh, bang goes McCann. Big run from him. Last tackle signal against Balmain. They're inside the corner, but it's a penalty to the Tigers. Well, they're going to have a discussion.
Well, this is a different set of circumstances here. The score is widened. There's a 10-point difference. The kick is not a simple one. It's around 4 or 5 metres from the line. They go for the try. They don't go for goal.
Elias for Parrish. Brasher is only 10 metres out. Now it's across for Pearce. Pearce caught by Sterling. The two great competitors come together. Now McFarlane. Back it comes for Maguire. Inside pass for Benny Elias. His pass has gone astray, picked up by Gary Jack. Pops it to McCann. McCann's given it to O'Brien. That's a Balmain try. The Tiger fans come alive as the Balmain side strikes back.
Yes, indeed, and what a try. That was a very good try. Just a lot of guts and determination. Now, Elias got it away out there to Maguire. Maguire stands in the tackle, gets the pass back on the inside to Elias again. Elias throws a careless pass. It's picked up on the bounce by Jack. Jack lobs it to move to McCann. McCann fights his arms free, although he was held, and gets it onto O'Brien, and O'Brien's in for a try. That's the way it came out. Now Elias again, away to Maguire, straight and hard, gets the pass back to Elias on the wraparound. He gets a really careless pass away along the ground to Jack. Jack lobs one, which looked as though it was touched in flight, down to McCann. McCann back on the inside to O'Brien, and O'Brien goes in for a very, very critical try. Now what they want at this time is Steve O'Brien, of course, age 25, occupation bricklayer. That tells you nothing about his try-scoring potential. He's a very, very strong runner. What we need now is a couple of goals from this Balmain side. But Parramatta are putting up a great performance here today. It's been very, very good to watch.
Well, McCann, as you saw, hasn't kicked one yet. What can he do with this one? This looks pretty good. It's there. The Tigers are on the way back. It's Parramatta 14 and Balmain 10. The Balmain fans start their chant. Tiger. 4 points of difference. And we're set for a thriller in the final 20 minutes or so of this football game. McGarry, 10 metres out from his own line. McFarlane. Here comes Brooks. For Brasher. Got past Kenny, but not Laurie. Now Benny Elias. Finally able to link up with McGarry with some room to move. Gary Jack's with him inside for Gary Jack. And Jack is caught from behind. 32 metres out. That was Jason Bell's tackle.
They've got to run it.
Parrish to McFarlane. McFarlane has got some room to move, looking for the support. He's inside, the float pass out for O'Brien. O'Brien is over the touchline.
Marvellous football, absolutely marvellous. They had to run it. It was the sixth tackle. It was the only option they had. There was a long pass out there from McFarlane, who ran beautifully out to O'Brien. He's pushed into touch only about 2 metres from the goal line. So it's a turnover. Parramatta back in possession, and they're starting to show a little sign of strain.
Not surprising as the Balmain side really start to come back. In back play, David Brooks, who came on as a replacement, is down injured. And Parramatta surrender possession. Balmain can't capitalise. What's the change, Bill?
It's Craig Sloane in 26, and I dare say this is just about his first shot in the top grade.
So Brooks comes from the field, holding his ribs. Balmain scrum win. Here's Brasher. Brasher trying to get around the outside of the defence. Just inside the 22. John Elias bumps off two defenders. Got it back for O'Brien. He's pulled down 12 metres out from the Parramatta line. The Tigers really coming back strongly. Wayne Pearce tries to belt his way through the defence. 6 metres short. Parrish. Maguire. Parrish. Parrish swivels out of one tackle. Pull down 5 metres short. Across for McFarlane. Steps off the right foot. It comes back for Sloane, the youngster, put the football down.
You won't be happy with that bit of form, but unfortunately that's the sort of thing that can happen with a replacement coming on, particularly if he's a very inexperienced one. So hyped up and so much adrenaline flow that his hands won't work.
Now it's Parramatta who have to do some regrouping as they try to get out of this danger area. And Pearce pulls off one of his clashing hits. It's Parramatta under tremendous pressure. Elias is another passenger in the Balmain side at the moment. He took a heavy knock. He's not well as Drake fights his way towards the quarter line. Danny Elias dropping back as this kick on the last goes straight to Gary Jack. And Jimmy Jack picks it up. Brings it back strongly. The crowd is really on its feet. Parrish selects Grant. Comes back for Brasher. Trying to thread his way through. 32 metres short. Parrish for Maguire. The Tigers are certainly showing a lot more flair and enterprise now in this second half. And they've been aided by a glut of possession right on the Parramatta 22. Here's Pearce. Good one underneath him. Last tackle. Parrish puts this high in the air. McGarry tries to take it. Can't. It'll be a knock on, I think. And another Parramatta Balmain change, Bill.
Michael Moss is the reserve grade fullbacks going on. Benny Elias comes from the field, and I've got another one for you. Peter Wynn in 52 will be going on. Matt Goodwin, the man to come off. Changes coming thick and fast, Bear.
They certainly are. A terrific struggle. It's a Balmain scrum win. Elias has hurt his ribs. Benny Elias, it's a rib problem for him. Now here's John Elias. Parrish has gone into a hooking roll. Moss at halfback. Here's Parrish swivelling around. Got the pass back for John Elias to McFarlane. McFarlane for the line. Leaks up out there with Grant.
Could have scored himself.
Oh, he got rid of the football when he could have scored. They're 5 metres short, the Tigers. Brasher has given it back and they bombed it again.
Oh, gee whiz. McFarlane, I'm sure, could have scored himself then. He ran very well, he ran brilliantly, but then trying to be unselfish. Now have a look at this, how close he is to the line. There it is, about 4 feet in front of him. I think his weight and bulk would have taken him over.
Oh. Here's Peter Wynn now, 14-10. Parramatta clinging desperately to this lead. Wynn playing the football and they surrendered possession again. It was Leichhardt who put it down.
Well, the crowd will be responsible for this upset as much as the players, I think. They go berserk here, don't they?
Well, you've got to say that Parramatta is playing in this second half like Balmain did in the first half.
That's about the size of it.
Moss feeds it. Moss has it at the scrum base. Now here comes John Elias. Caught by Wynn. Playing this game as if it was a grand final. Maguire barges his way ahead. 15 metres away from the Parramatta line. McFarlane dummy half to Brasher to Junior Pearce. 10 metres short of the line. Across for Parrish. Green Tree has him. Desperation defence from Parramatta. Now it's with Brasher. They're going to bomb. Up it goes. Up goes Mann. Can't take it. Jackson has it for Parramatta. Now Sterling's lost it behind him. Mann is able to pick it up. The action coming thick and fast, and what pressure Parramatta have been under.
Yes, they'd be entitled to fold. I don't think they will in terms of packing it in. I think they've got their little skipper out there, Sterling, who knows all about these sort of pressure situations. But certainly the Balmain side have absolutely come alive in the last 20 minutes.
Now Parramatta at 30 metres out from their own line. Sterling's given it back to Leichhardt. A kick and chase in the end. McGarry's back there to clean it up for the Tigers, and Leichhardt cleans him up. Jack from dummy half. Here they come again, the Tigers. Oh, beautiful tackle from Kenny. Sloan. His first game in the top grade. What pressure. What a pressure game for him to come into. Moss is wrapped up by Wynn. Now McFarlane. Parrish. Brasher. The little kick ahead. Leichhardt is back there for the Eels. Right on the 22. Krenkovic. Now here's Drake. Peter Wynn.
He's become almost a professional substitute in the last season, hasn't he?
Now Langford gets up towards the halfway as we see another Parramatta change getting set, Bill.
It'll be Langford coming off. Gavin Katanak in 21 takes his spot.
Let's get out of here, and it's a great kick. So this scrum will go down as a touch judge on, I think, just to report that change. Indeed it is. Langford comes from the field, Katanak goes in. So this scrum is only 10 metres out from the Balmain line. 4 points in it. Parramatta clinging to this lead. Moss from dummy half. Or from the scrum base, I should say. Now here's Pearce.
Well, again, I wouldn't waste any time getting down the other end of the field. They're playing it at the wrong end. I would get the kicking game involved fairly smartly, and I would get the ball out of this quarter because it's no good to them there.
Pearce is right on the quarter. Maguire caught by Johnson. Parrish straight up in the air.
Yeah, that was a move that was obviously on with Gary Jack, who told the support player that you put a little kick over and I'll go through after it. Well, it didn't work out. It went too high.
Wynn plays it for Johnson. Gets to the quarter line. Sterling, Drake, Laurie. Back for Sterling. Now for Leichhardt. Leichhardt links up with Mann. A little goose step from Mann. 11 metres away from the Balmain line. Leichhardt, Sterling. Drake puts it down. Sloan will come up with it for the Tigers. John Elias. O'Brien. O'Brien in the clear. Leichhardt gets him. Mann came back to assist. Here they come again, the Tigers. McFarlane to Parrish. Parrish almost to the halfway mark. Gets pushed back a metre or so now. Penalty to the Balmain side.
That's exactly what they needed at the moment, the Balmain team. They've got to go down into Parramatta's area, and hopefully the Parramatta side's mistake rate is lifted. Hopefully from Balmain's point of view they can force an error.
Now Parrish with the restart. You can see the shadows and the sun really starting to play havoc with the television cameras. As the grandstand shadow has gone almost across the field, but not quite. The Tigers with Maguire playing the football. It was a messy play of the ball, but he got away with it. Brasher through the dummy and gets almost to the quarter line. Parrish's dummy half for Elias. Right on the 22, Elias will play the football for McCann to Parrish to Pearce. Greentree rides him into the ground. Last tackle signalled against the Tigers. Brasher harassed by Sterling, but still got the kick in. McGarry almost took it for Balmain. It's still alive, hasn't gone out. McCallum, oh no, he called a halt.
Yeah, the referee having a bit of fun there. I think he's even got a smile on his face. The pass came back into him, and he actually moved and took it and waved the Balmain players back. The penalty went to Parramatta. Only 5 minutes 51 seconds now to go. This massive crowd haven't really moved, or that many of them haven't gone out. I think they're hoping for the impossible, the win by Balmain.
4 points in it. Parramatta have really clung to this lead under enormous pressure from the Balmain side. Johnson. Parramatta have had something of a history this year of establishing a lead and having it put under pressure in the last 20 minutes or so. I recall that game against Brisbane where they had a healthy lead and were beaten. And Newcastle, of course, managed to snatch a draw from a similar situation. Sterling. Great kick, Sterling.
Yes, he's turned him around time and time again, hasn't he? He's an astonishing little player. He hasn't absolutely commanded this game, but he's played very, very well. He's had a particularly strong game without being absolutely dominant. I've never seen him play a bad game. 4 minutes to go. Scrum going down, and about 10 metres out from the line. Moss defeated. The referee's had a good look, and he's got the ball in. Brasher going cross field again. I repeat, with this little time at their disposal, there's no use trying to play at this end of the field, as far as I'm concerned. There's got to be a kick of some description put in here, probably with the objective of achieving the ball coming back to them. There's O'Brien, he's been put in the clear. Magnificent tackle from Mann. Doesn't get him over the sideline. Elias goes to dummy half, he's tackled. Gets a pass away to Maguire. Maguire flings it back inside to McFarlane. McFarlane carrying it in one hand. Away to Brasher. Brasher back to McFarlane. McFarlane gets a long pass out to Gary Jack. They're moving it to the right. It's gone out to McCann. McCann out to Grant. Back on the inside to McGarry. There's the pass being thrown along the ground. Moss scoops it up. He evades one tackle, going strongly. Gets up to within 10 metres of the quarter line. Balmain side and never licked until it's all over. There's Parrish surging ahead. It's a long basketball pass away to Pearce. They're moving it out wide now. Brasher accelerates. Can't get through the tackle there. Katernak came at him strongly. Gary Jackson dummy half. Jack elects to go to the blind side. Gives it out to McCann. McCann strongly gets a pass back on the inside to number 26, Sloan. Sloan away to McFarlane. McFarlane stepping. Tackle comes down under the two defenders there. Parrish. Oh, he's lost the football. It's been fallen on there by number 10, Greg Drake, who actually had it under his arm and didn't know it. Katernak coming away with a strong run. About only a couple of minutes to go in this match. 2.5 minutes. Can Balmain pull this game out of the fire, or the Parramatta side going to hang on for what will be one of the major upsets of the rugby league competition? Mann comes away with a stuttering run from dummy half, only sideways like a crab-like run, but it's a It's a small gain now. Leichhardt evades a couple of defenders, still going, bouncing off players, gets to within 8 metres of the halfway line. Strong run. He's played very well tonight. Man at dummy half, back to Sterling. Sterling kicks downfield, not mucking around. He knows the way to play the game. Jack's fielded it on the quarter. He comes back in a big swerving run now, tries to get through the defence, can't do it. He's buried about 5 metres out from the quarter line. Brasher, minute and a half to go. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen pretty smartly. It's almost, I find it almost impossible to believe that they can be beaten, Balmain, on their home ground in front of such a crowd. But you've got to take your hat off the Parramatta side. They've done well. Now they're spinning the ball. Elias kicks the ball straight ahead. I think it's just given it back to Leichhardt. Oh, he did marvellously well there. Oh, yes, look at the... Could we see that again on the replay? That was absolutely marvellous. Look at the way he scooped that ball in one-handed with all the Balmain forwards pouring down on him. He's slightly hurt. Oh, yes, indeed. Jason Bill takes it up to the halfway line. He's got a cramp. Or is he just taking a few seconds off the playing time? Krankovic runs from dummy half. They're nothing to play for now, Parramatta. There's no reason for them to throw the football around. They've done it very hard for 80 minutes, or 79 and a half minutes. And the last tackle coming up right now. Up to Sterling. Sterling kicks. Touched beautifully, only a couple of metres from the corner post. He's been like an orchestra leader the way he's run this game. There's the State Bank replay. Look at the kick, just beautiful. Taking the play into right deep into Balmain's territory. Well, we're into injury time now. Now, can Balmain win the scrum? Yes, they can. Moss has got it. By to Brasher, they're going to run it. Jack's tackled about 5 metres out from his line and put down fairly hard. Wynn was the tackler. McCann trying to bulldoze his way through a couple of players. I would have thought ball movement was the way to go. McFarlane. Very strong play by the Parramatta side. They've stripped the ball from him. Got it out to Sterling. Sterling's moving it wide. He's moved it out there to Kenny. Kenny props, comes back on the inside. Only about 8 metres out from the line. I think that's it. The hoot has gone. Nobody could hear it. There was so much noise going on here. So there it was. Wayne Pearce, unfortunately for him and for the Balmain club, has not been able to come up with a win because of his retirement and his last match on this ground ever. Sterling gives him a congratulations hug. But really a sterling performance by the Parramatta side, who played admirably today. Absolutely marvellous football. So the scoring went this way. For the Balmain side, they're 10 points. Brasher and O'Brien. McCann 1 goal. Parramatta 3 tries to 2, all good ones. Laurie, Leichhardt and Mann, and Mann 1 goal. So 14 points to 10. But don't go away. We'll be back with the man of the match in just a moment.
Junior, you're not bowing out from Leichhardt Oval in the way that you'd want to, but I must say that was one of the most stirring encounters ever here at Leichhardt Oval. You were down 10-0, you fought back so courageously, and I'm sure you're very proud of your players today, and I'm sure you're also equally delighted for the incredible roll-up of the people that love you so much.
Thanks, Graham. Firstly, I'd just like to congratulate Parramatta. They're a tremendous side. They always have been. They've always given us a run for our money, and they did it again today. Congratulations to Sterlo and Bert and the boys. Good game. Having said that, I'd like to just say how proud I am of my blokes. In the 11 seasons of first grade that I've had here at the club, there's never been as much spirit as there has been in this particular side. And whilst it was a bit of a setback today, I've got the utmost confidence that we can go all the way. And finally, I'd like to thank each and every one of you that have turned up today, whether you're supporting Balmain or Parramatta. It's made it an absolutely fantastic atmosphere, and it's a game that I'll certainly remember. Thank you.
Wayne, just before you go, your lap of honour, and a very well-earned lap of honour, we'd like to call on Mr. Tom Middleton, the president of the Balmain Football Club, to make a very special presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Middleton.
Thank you, Graham. Wayne, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege this afternoon to talk to you about Wayne, and also to make a small presentation to him on behalf of the club on this very eventful day. Normally, of course, I'm very happy to make any presentation to Wayne, but today is tinged with a lot of sadness because it is the last time we'd see this athletic young fellow, this determined, enthusiastic man, which he showed again today. It's the last time we see him running around this oval in a tiger jumper. Wayne has played 22 years of rugby league, all in the Balmain district, every one of them. He's wanted to do that for one reason only, that he just doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to play with Balmain. So Wayne, on behalf of the club, and I'm sure all your supporters, I'd like to make this small presentation to you as a very small token of the
Welcome back to Leichhardt, a very emotional time here as Wayne Pearce is receiving a special presentation from Tom Middleton, president of the Balmain Rugby League Football Club.
Wayne.
I don't want to say too much more, except that the reason I played that my whole career in the Balmain area is because I love the area, and I just want to thank the club for being so supportive of myself. Hopefully I can return some of the debt in the future, and sorry we couldn't win today. Thank you.
Junior, we're about to savour a very special moment in time, and I look around this ground, and I know you do, to see all these players, all the players here, and of course the thousands of Tiger fans that have stayed back to salute you in your lap of honour. And I'd like now to ask the officials and the representatives of the Balmain Tigers, and indeed the players, to join with you in your very special moment in time. So Junior, go out and savour it. It's all yours. Wayne Pearce, ladies and gentlemen, as he farewells his beloved Leichhardt Oval.
One final thing. There's a guy that came to the club, I think he came into the club a year after I started playing. It's his last game at the club today too, let's not forget him, Kevin Hardwick.
And Kevin, I might add, has been taken to hospital, but the reports are he is okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in his lap of honour, supported by his teammates, the incomparable Wayne Junior Pearce.
thank you, Wayne Pearce. Thanks for the memories. He's a great fellow. We'll be back here at Leichhardt in just a moment.
Let's really hear it as he nears his end of his lap of honour. A man that has given so much to the game of rugby league and whose beloved Tigers. Farewelling Leichhardt Oval after a decade of greatness.
I've seen you on TV.
Guys, if we can have you back, please, boys. Here we go, mate. Straight into it.
Welcome back to Leichhardt. What a week this has been with the selection of the Australian team. Let's have a look at our week in review.
A number of players were under a fitness cloud when the Australian team came together on Monday. Canberra's Laurie Daly was one of the most notable concerns, but was quickly given the all clear.
I'll just go out there and give it my best shot, and I know when it's getting tired, so I'll just put my hand up.
Ian Roberts was another man given a tough examination before having his place in the team confirmed.
That's all in the past now, and I just hope the future's a bit brighter.
So surprisingly, the squad remained unchanged. Despite missing the last month through suspension, big prop Steve Roach is confident about the job at hand.
It'd be very easy to motivate myself. It's a test match, and I love playing for my country, and I'm looking forward to it.
The following day, the Aussies arrived at New Zealand ready for business, but knowing full well their clubs back in Sydney would suffer. A situation not lost on coach Bob Fulton.
But it is terribly unfortunate that these clubs at this vital stage of the year have a situation of losing key players, and obviously the players that are playing for Australia are the best players in their respective teams.
Particularly for players playing in the top teams, you know, even though we got Gold Coast this weekend.